Despite what you hear many business gurus say, you don't need to be all over social media doing daily video content and putting yourselves out there to win business. For many introverts, that sounds like their worst nightmare. If you're an introvert and in business, you'll want to hear what Fifi Mason has got to say on how to get your business seen and win clients when it comes to social media. So you help introverted business owners get seen, and I imagine that you see a lot of business owners do the wrong things because, unfortunately, social media means that we're living in a sort of extroverted world. So if you're an introverted person, you might find it difficult to do the things you are told to do or expect to do by some of these thought leaders, and the loudest voices are obviously the wrong voice to follow. So you must see a lot of people following the wrong types of advice, and it kind of backfires for them in their business?
Yeah, definitely. I often see that introvert business owners they struggle to show up because they feel like they have to be someone they're not. The having to fake being outgoing, or the mentality of like fake it until you make it is it's like it's told to us all the time, and it's just not something that we can do. It's feeling like we have to have like put on a show and shout the loudest to be seen and heard, and it goes against our nature as introverts. So we just end up not being passionate about it, not wanting to do it, and yeah, so being told to fake it and just go out there and be outgoing and have to do that is definitely something that I see a lot with my clients and they struggle to do that.
I blame it's a lot of these vocal business coaches and sort of inspirational leaders that are on social media, whether it be YouTube or LinkedIn. They really do push that fake it before you make it, be out there, dress for the job you want. But it's ironic that they also say, be authentic and people by people and stuff like that. So it's weird that they're telling you to be authentic, and then they're also telling you to act in a completely different way to what feels natural and comfortable with yourself. So it must be quite a confusing and difficult thing to deal with, especially if you are an introvert.
Yeah, just the advice of fake it just goes against everything that an introvert is.
Another bit of advice that I see a lot of people kind of follow, and I think it's misleading or wrong, is they try to be everywhere all at once. So they're on TikTok putting themselves out there, they're doing funny dances, they're on Instagram, they're doing reels, they're doing LinkedIn lives, they're doing too much, in my opinion. And I think that could potentially be damaging or overwhelming to introverts.
It definitely is, because introverts get their energy from being on our own. Like we re-energized by solitude, doing things by ourselves, and being social is a big drain. So having to be on all of the social channels and creating hundreds of pieces of content every day it's just not going to be, it's going to be exhausting, and we're just not going to want to do it. We're not going to enjoy it. And it just spreads the message thin, and what we put out there, the content we put out there is mediocre. It's not thought out. It's not specific enough to who you're speaking to.
It's interesting doing this series. I've spoke to a number of different people in marketing and also sales and that sort of lead gen. I spoke to somebody yesterday on social selling, and it's interesting that he said something that if you can get the correct message on the correct platform to your ideal client avatar, you actually educated your client. He said it was pull, not push messaging. I don't know if you've heard this thing. And he said that when you actually then have to speak to a client, if you've done that bit right in the correct way, that client or that prospect, not client, is about 80% of the way there anyway. So I imagine if you're an introvert, if you can do those things right, and it doesn't really need much face-to-face, uncontrolled customer interaction, then the conversations that you are having would be easier for you to handle, would be probably a higher conversion rate, more successful. So would you say targeting your message to the right person in a way that you're comfortable and can control would be one of the good habits for introverts in business?
Yes, definitely. And knowing what your message is, who you are in business is crucial. I like that you you mentioned like the pull and push. And I had someone say to me when he described the way that I interact with my audience as that people lean into me rather than leaning out, because I put out stuff and the messages and the stories that I share in a way that they just want to know more, so they lean in. And I loved that analogy of how he described it to me.
That's how all business people and all people in business should really put out their message. But even more so with the clients that you work with. I
think if you understand your message and who you're talking to, it's going to help prepare you and help you be more targeted in what you're putting out there. And yeah, like you say, they will lean in to hear what you have to say and what you want to say.
And I've heard that saying is that your vibe attracts your tribe. So if you do put out your true self and what you really believe, while it might turn off a certain section of potential prospects, it will still attract the ones that understand your message and agree with you and share the same kind of ideas and ethos and stuff like that. So in a strange way, if you drop the act and then started acting what you felt most comfortable with and you were being authentic to your true self, your market message might be slightly different. You might lose some followers short term, but long term, the audience that you have either kept or gained, I always think are a more hardcore, engaged group of followers or subscribers or whatever it might be.
Oh yeah, definitely. It is narrowing down enough so that you're able to reach the people that you want to work with, those dream clients, and not feeling like you have to work with people who just don't align with your own values and who you are.
If you are an introvert and being spread so thinly across all these social media platforms is something that makes you feel uncomfortable, causes all these issues, and it makes you unhappy, or you're spending less time focusing on the things that you should focus on, you could probably niche down and then say, I'm only going to pick one platform or two platforms where that type of ideal client turns up. So you're in the same place they are, rather than being on all these other platforms.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as soon as you know who you want to talk to and who you want to get your message in front of, you just focus on one platform and you get good at it. You figure out what works, what doesn't work. You build your audience and you connect with them on a deeper level, rather than social being this kind of surface level. People just look at what you do. You actually get to know people. And that's something that I focus on LinkedIn mainly. And I love that about LinkedIn because I get to know people. The people who comment have been commenting for over a year. I speak to them often. You build these relationships, and then these relationships can help you in so many ways.
Where could I find out more about you and how you help people?
If you wanted to find out more about me, you can go to fifimason.com. And I'm also on LinkedIn, so you can find me on there.
So thanks to Fifi for sharing with us her top tips when it comes to being an introvert in business. If you like this content, don't forget to subscribe and join us next time for some more Habitz Podcast.